working at your own pace, making sure that nothing is causing pain or discomfort as joint pain. Muscular discomfort, entirely up to you. If you need to stop and have a little stretch, to stop and rest, to stop and stretch. If you can keep it going for as long as you can. The usual props, the ball, if you've got the ball, otherwise you can use a pillow, a cushion, and then the band if you've got the band. Otherwise, you can use a belt, a strap, anything to aid, to support, especially the legs. So if you're seated, sitting up nice and tall, trying to find the space at the front that allows your diaphragm, your big breathing muscle inside the ribcage, to descend down towards the belly and create that nice relaxed breath. The chest is lifted, the head is lifted on top of the chest. If you're laying down, taking advantage of the floor, allowing yourself to relax it down onto the mat, and then focusing on the breath, think of the belly raising with the inhalation, falling with the exhalation. So making sure that the throat is soft, that the neck is relaxed, that the front of the chest is relaxed. See if I can guide the breath down into the belly, getting into that nice relaxed belly breath. And then as you keep that breath going, running a quick scan over the body, noticing where the pressure is along the body. Is it the same pressure between the shoulders, between the hips? If I'm laying down, and the same pressure between my seat bones if I'm seated up. I'm not changing anything. Just noticing where everything is and how you feel to begin with. So is there any tension? Is there any discomfort anywhere? So just trying to be mindful of what's going on in the body. And then as you feel the breath feels a little bit more settled, the body feels that little bit more relaxed, then focusing on the shoulder. One arm at a time, I'm going to start to bring the arm forward. I'm going to lift it up, and then I'm going to reach it towards the ceiling if I'm seated, towards the wall behind me if I'm laying down. Then easing the arm back, and then I'm going to try the same thing to the other side. Now, if you're seated, you're working against gravity, so the arm feels heavier. It's harder to lift. Make sure that you're not forcing the lift and really creating tension into the side of the neck. So I'm going to go for a smaller lift if it has to be smaller. And then if one shoulder feels stiffer than the other, if one shoulder maybe is a little bit painful compared to the other, on that side I'll keep the movement small. On the other side I'll go for a bigger movement. So it's whatever works for the right, whatever works for the left side. If you're laying down, you're working with gravity. So the arm doesn't weight as much. It feels a little bit easier to move. So just make sure that there is no pain as the arm goes back. I'm not forcing again, so it doesn't feel as if all of my chest is moving back with the arms. If I can keep the rib cage nice and soft, the top of the chest nice and relaxed, the belly connected at the front. 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arms, and then I'm going to change the direction of the movement. Instead of going for a front raise, I'm going to come around into a lateral raise. So swinging the arm around the side, I'm going to bring it towards the head, and then I'm going to swing it back in place. And then with the other arm, I'm going to do the same, and then swinging it back. If you're lying down, aim the arm to stay as close to the floor as possible. Again, unless I feel that the shoulder doesn't like that. It grinds, it clicks, it clonks, it's painful. In which case, I'm just going to allow the arm to come away from the floor slightly until I feel that I've got a nice movement that works for the shoulder. It's not going to create pinching or pain in the shoulder. If I'm seated, exactly the same. So think of changing the angle of the swing. So if possible, I'm going to swing the arm right around the side. If not possible, I'm just going to allow the arms to swing slightly forward to the body line. So I can still get some movement going into the shoulder, but without, again, straining the shoulder, without creating pain in the shoulder, in the arm. 5. 4. 3. 2. Last time. And releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the arms. Shoulder is a little bit warmer. What I'm going to try this time is trying to work with coordination. So see if I can get the brain going with the body. With one arm, I'm going to go for a front raise. So with my right arm, I'm going to reach up to the front. With the left arm, I'm going to reach around the side. Then I'm going to come down and then switch the arms. With the left, I'm going to go forward. With the right, I'm going to go side. Then come back and then switch them again. With the left, I go forward. With the right, I go side and then back. So one to the front, one to the side, easing back, one to the front, one to the side, easing back. So see if I can keep that pattern going. One forward, one side, one forward, one side, one forward, one side, one forward, one side. So if I'm seated, encouraging that slight rotation from side to side. So I've got the space to create a little bit more movement. So I'm going to use that space. 4. 3. 2. 1. Last time. And releasing back. Relaxing the shoulders, releasing the upper body. It's a little bit more movement. I'm going to focus on the back. So staying with that rotation. See if I can encourage a bigger movement. So whether I'm sitting up or lying down, I'm going to reach the arms straight ahead. I'm going to lock the hands together, interlocking the finger, clasping the hands, pressing the palms, whatever works for you. And then I'm going to start swinging from side to side. So I'm going to swing around to the right. I'm going to roll over to the right shoulder, swing around the left, and then rolling over to the left. If you're seated, think of staying nice and upright. So I'm going to try and turn as far as I can, but making sure that I'm not leaning, I'm not hunching, I'm not stiffening. I'm nice and tall, the shoulders are down, the neck is long, the head is lifted as I'm moving from side to side. If you're lying down, I use the mat, the floor to guide me. I'm just going to roll over onto one shoulder, come back, and then roll over onto the other. And then as you keep rolling, just be aware of the hips, making sure that you're not taking the hips with you. So the hips are keeping still, just the shoulder girdle is moving. So see if I can loosen up into the upper back, massaging across to the back, from side to side. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. And releasing back to the middle. It's a little bit more movement into the back. What I want is to encourage a little bit more. So I'm going to cross my right leg over the left. So I can cross the thighs if possible. I can just go across the feet if not possible. Then with the right hand, I'm going to reach underneath that left armpit. With the left hand, I'm going to hug the right shoulder. So I'm going to give myself a nice tight hug. So whether I'm lying down or seated up, I'm kind of like, almost like trying to spiral myself around. Once that I've got the position, I'm going to turn the head to look over the right shoulder, and then I'm going to turn the torso to the left. So I'm going to rotate the shoulders to the left, the head to the right. I'm going to hold it here for 6 breaths. 3, I'm going to try and breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And then 3, I'm going to breathe in through the mouth and out through the mouth. So I'm going to take a deep breath in through the nose, 1, and out, 2, 3. Breathe through the mouth, 1, 2, 3. Now see if you can twist a little bit more. Try one more time. In through the nose, 1, 2, 3. In through the mouth, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to ease everything back to the middle. I'm going to turn the head to look over the left shoulder. The body is going to twist to the right. Holding the position. 3 breaths through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Breathe through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. See if you can twist a little bit deeper. Try one more time. 3 breaths through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Breathe through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. And then easing back to the middle. Releasing the arms, I'm crossing the legs, I'm going to cross the other way. So left leg crosses in front of the right. So again, I can cross the feet, I can cross the thighs, whichever it's easier. With the left hand, I'm going to reach under the right armpit. With the right hand, I'm going to go over the right shoulder. So giving myself a nice tight hug. Maintaining that position, I'm going to turn the head to look over that left shoulder and then turn the body to the right. Maintaining the twist. 3 breaths through the nose. 2, 3. Breathe through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. Twisting a little bit deeper. 3 breaths through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Breathe through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. Twisting back to the middle. Turning the other way. Head to the right, body to the left. 3 breaths through the nose. 1, 2, 3. Breathe through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. Twisting a little bit deeper. One more time. 3 breaths to the nose. 1, 2, 3. Breathe through the mouth. 1, 2, 3. And then returning back to the middle. Releasing the arms and crossing the legs, relaxing the shoulders, adjusting the shoulders, adjusting the rib cage. It's a little bit more movement into the back. I'm going to see if I can start getting into a little flexion. So if I'm seated, I don't need to support the head. I can just relax the arms down by the side. And then I'm going to start flexing from side to side. If I'm laying down, I might want to support to the head. So with one hand, I'm going to reach behind the head to help me carry the weight of the head. And with the other arm, I'm going to reach down the side. Then I'm going to switch and then reach the other way. So think of the side of the belly pulling you gently from side to side. The back moving. If I'm on the floor, the back is staying on the floor. It's just kind of like shifting from side to side. If I'm seated, imagine your back to be against the wall. So making sure that even when I move down the side, my back would stay on the wall. So I'm not suddenly leaning forward or leaning back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then easing back to the middle. See if we can go a little bit deeper, same as we did for the rotation. So I'm going to rest the right hand over the left shoulder. And then with the left hand, I'm just going to grab hold of the elbow. Think of twisting the skin of the elbow. I'm going to try and twist it inwards, so clockwise and then anti-clockwise. So I'm going to try and twist it one way and then twist it the other. And then just to see if you can notice in which direction you feel more resistance. So for me, it's the one I twist outwards. For you might be when you twist in. So whichever direction you feel the resistance is the strongest, I'm going to go that way. So I'm going to twist the skin onto the elbow. I'm going to hold it there. Now I'm going to start raising the arm up. See if you can bring it up as high as you can. So it could be directly in front of my face. It could be directly behind my head. I'm going to take it as far up as I feel I can. Once the arm is set, then I'm going to pull gently over the left. See if you can think of a nice stretch that goes up the side of the rib cage, into the shoulder, into the arm. I don't want any pain. I'm just trying to ease the tension gradually. And then turning the head, I'm going to turn to look over the right side. So whether I'm seated or lying down, I'm going to look around the right, hold in there. Nice deep breaths. 1, 2, see if I can stretch a little bit more. 3, 4, 5, and releasing back. Releasing the arms, adjusting the shoulders. Same thing to the other side. So left hand goes to the right shoulder. With the right hand, I'm going to scoop the elbow and then twisting it one way, twisting it the other, see which direction there is more resistance. And then hold it in that direction. I'm going to take the arm towards the face, towards the head more, behind the head if the shoulder allows me to do so. And then this time I'll be flexing to the right. Just to think of a nice stretch that comes up into that left side of the body. Turning the head to look over that left shoulder, that left armpit. And then think of a nice deep breath to help me relax. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and releasing back, releasing the arms, relaxing the shoulders. So a little bit, hopefully a little bit more movement into the upper back, and see if we can focus on the lower back. Starting off with a little pelvic tilt. So if you're seated, think of the upper back is staying pretty much still, the lower back moving. So I'm going to tilt the pelvis, I'm going to tap the tailbone under, I'm going to tilt the pelvis back, and then forward, back, and forward. So imagine to be rocking from the very tip of your seat bones, back onto the tailbone, up onto the seat bones, back onto the tailbone again. So feeling that gentle movement down into the lower back. If you're down on the floor, use the mat as a reference, use the floor as a reference. As you're tilting back, the lower back is pressing gently into the mat. And then as I release, it's lifting away. So I'm going to tilt and release that tilt. Tilt and release the tilt. So just gently massaging along the lower back and the back of the pelvis, loosening up any tension, any stiffness from down there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and easing back, returning the hips back into neutral, adjusting the pelvis, and then from a anterior posterior tilt, I'm going to go into a little hip hinge. So pulling the left hip up towards the left side of the rib cage, I'm going to hitch up on the left, come back to the middle, and then hitch up on the right. Come back to the middle, hitch up on the left, back to the middle, hitch up on the right. So if you're lying down, so when you are going into lateral flexion with the upper body, the back of the pelvis is flat against the mat. I'm just moving gently side to side as if I was trying to kind of like swing my hips like a little pendulum, swinging from one over to the other side. Feeling the tension changing from the left into the right side of the belly, depending on which direction you're hitching, which direction you're moving. If you're seated, imagine to be walking your seat bones up and down the chair. So I'm going to hitch up on the right, trying to pull my right seat bone up. Coming down, hitch up on the left and pulling that left seat bone up. I can use the arms to give me a little support if I feel that I need a little extra help or at least a little extra stability. So 1 and the other, 1 and the other side. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and releasing back. Releasing the hips, adjusting the hips and making sure that the pelvis is still centered. And then I'm going to start focusing down into the legs, into the hips. And first the thing is trying to get into a little knee lift. So think of the front of the hip. I want the front of the hip to close and my right leg to pull up. Then I'm going to ease back and then I'm going to repeat it again. And then back. So same as you did for the arm. The leg might actually not be able to lift off, the foot might not be able to lift completely off the ground. It doesn't matter. Just to see if you can find a connection deep into the hip, or see if you can picture your thigh bone moving towards the chest. So what I want is for the angle at the hip to close. So it could be a very little lift, it could be a very big lift, it doesn't matter, it's whatever it is. And then same as usual, if I feel that the leg is a little bit stiff today, just doesn't want to respond, then I might guide it. So I might use the strap around the back of the leg to guide the leg into the lift. So see if I can try and encourage the movement up and down with using the arms. So exactly the same if I'm lying down, I can still use the band around the back of the leg to help me encourage that lift. So controlling it up and then controlling it down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Relaxing the leg, relaxing the hip. I'm going to try the same thing on the left side, on the other side. So if I need the band, I'm going to set the band around the leg and then think of that left hip closing, the thigh bone moving towards the chest and then easing back. So see if I can control the lifting, control the lowering, however small or big it is. Again, it doesn't matter, just to see if I can focus deep into the hip joint, to see if I can feel that twitch, to feel that connection, that tension that is going to allow me to move the leg up in that direction and then back down again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Relaxing the hip, releasing the leg, just a little bit more connection at the front of the hip. I want a little bit more onto the side of the hip. So if you're laying down, try to keep the feet nice and close together. If you're seated up, I will go a little bit wider with the feet. What I want you to think about is to think of opening the knees as wide as you can. So I'm going to get the knees out as far as I can, and then I'm going to control them back in again. I'm going to push them out as far as I can, and then control them in again. As you keep that movement going, see if you can think of the side of the hip pulling the legs out and the inner thigh squeezing the legs back in, back together. Guiding with the hands if the leg feel a bit stiff, a bit tighter today, and it doesn't really want to move in that direction. So see if I can get the little extra movement into the hip joint. So if I'm laying down, I'm going to take advantage of gravity as I'm opening, and then I'm going to squeeze against the gravity as I close back. So open and close. Making sure that the back is not arching, so the back of the pelvis is nice and flat against the mat. There is no pressure on the lower back, there is no pinching or pain in the hip as I'm opening the legs out and then closing the leg back. So smaller, bigger movement is whatever works for your right and your left side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Again, adjusting the legs, relaxing the hips, releasing the leg. And then I'm going to focus on the back of the leg, back of the hips. So if you're lying down, bending the knees, the feet and knees about, hips width apart, we're going to start bridging up. So pushing down through the soles of the feet, to squeezing with the back of the hips, with the back of the bum, encouraging the hips to come up into extension. Think of your thighs reaching out of your hip socket, so really lengthening away. And then I'm just going to ease my way back down again. So up into bridge and then down. If you're seated, I'm going to load the legs. So bring the feet a little bit closer to the chair. I'm going to lean forward. And then a nice squeeze, and see if I can make my hips lighter, see if I can lift them slightly off. And then I'm just going to sit back on again. So I'm going to try and pull away slightly and then sit back again. Pull away slightly and then sit back again. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and releasing back, relaxing the legs, releasing the hips. It's a little bit more movement through the hip joints. So we're going to start coordinating arms and legs together. So the knees are bent, the feet are down on the floor, the arms are relaxing by the legs or by the thighs. Imagine to be puppeting the legs. So a string that goes from my right hand to my right leg, from my left hand to my left leg. I'm going to start pulling the string up with my right arm. I'm going to pull up on the right leg, ease my way back, pull the string with the left arm, pull up on the left leg, ease back, pull the string, the right leg comes up, pull the string with the left leg comes up, and then back. So same as before, it could be a very little lift, it could be a very big lift. It's whatever works for the shoulder and for the hip together. So one side, control it back, the other side, and then control it back. If you're seated, see if you can sit up nice and tall, making sure that I'm not hunching and rounding. So nice lift, the head is seated on top of the shoulder. I'm trying to create a nice, easy movement up and down. If I'm laying down, using the mat to help me maintain that nice long spine, and then see if I can coordinate the arm and the leg together. 4, 3, finding the breath that works for you. It doesn't matter if you're breathing in or out, whichever direction, as far as you feel that you're breathing. 2, 1. Last time. And easing back, relaxing the hips and relaxing the shoulders. And then we're going to try one more time, but this time we're going to cross the string. So my right hand attaches to my left leg, my left hand attaches to my right leg. So opposite sides moving together. So I'm going to pull the string with my right arm, my left leg is going to lift this time. Then ease back, I'm going to pull the string with my left arm, and then my right leg is going to come up. And then ease down again. And then just noticing the difference. I might find one combination sometimes works better than the other. So I might find that when I was lifting same side, I couldn't really move the leg. Now that I'm lifting opposite side, the leg is actually moving better. or vice versa. I might find that it was lifting before, now it's struggling a little bit more to lift up. So see if I can still be aware. I want to feel that closing into the hip and a nice easy lift into the arm. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, last time, and releasing back, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the legs, and then I'm going to change the direction. So still trying to work on coordination, arms and leg. Go back, imagine the string back, attaching your right hand to your right leg, your left hand to the left leg. But this time, instead of going up, I'm going to go out. So I'm going to pull out with my right arm. I want my right leg to open to the right. I'm going to close back in again. I'm going to pull out with my left, and then I'm going to come back in again. Pull out with the right, and then coming back, opening with the left, and then coming back. If you're lying down, see if you can make sure that as you're opening from side to side, the only thing that is moving is your arm and your leg. Your hips are not moving as well. So my pelvis is not turning to the left, it's not turning to the right. My hips are staying still. It's just the leg that is opening out with the arm and then coming back, opening out the other way, and then coming back. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 time. And then easing back to the middle, allowing the arms, allowing the legs a little rest, and then I'm going to switch the connection again. So what I want is for my right hand and my left leg to move together, my left arm and my right leg to move together, so opposite sides. So this time as the right arm opens to the right, with my left leg I'm going to open to the left, so they're opening away from each other. And then they're going to come back to the middle. Then the other side, and the left arm with the right leg, and then coming back to the middle. Same as you did before. If you're lying down on the back, making sure that the hips are not moving, it's just the leg moving into the hip socket. If you're seated, that's not going to happen as the weight is on your hips. So I can't really move my hips, I have to move the leg. So I'm going to open, close back, open, close back. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Last time. And releasing back, releasing the hips, so relaxing the shoulders. If you're lying down, rolling over onto the side, and slowly pushing yourself up into sitting, finding that comfortable position for the legs that allows you to sit up nice and upright, leaning against something if you feel that you need a little support for the back, using the arms if there is nothing that you can use as a support. So same as we did at the beginning, see if we can find that nice space at the front of the body. And then see if we can try and stretch it even longer this time. So I'm going to start pushing the chest forward. I'm going to try and lift it up. We'll see if I can pull the breastbone away from the hips. I'm going to start looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then I'm just going to release, letting the chin drop down to the chest and the shoulders come forward. I'm going to allow myself to roll it down towards the legs, towards the mat. And then I'm curling my way back up again. Keep standing up, pushing the chest forward, lifting it up. Drop the shoulders down at the back, looking up, looking back. And then releasing, coming forward, dropping the chin, rounding the upper back, rounding the lower back, rolling your way down, and curling your way all the way back up, extending your way through, lifting through the chest, and drop the shoulders at the back, looking forward, looking up, looking back. And then easing back to the front. One hand to the belly, one hand to the back. Take your bow. Give yourself a couple of that.